Hi guys, welcome to my third Brewing Basics episode. In the previous episode 2 we talked about 7 essential elements of brewing, where I focused mostly on the first 4, which are coffee to water ratio, grind size, grind settings, brewing time and water temperature, and I explained them more precisely. I explained how it's our extraction done when it's a very coarse grind size, when it's very fine grind size, and when it's proper grind size, and what we need to do with our grind settings in order to fix our brewing time. Today I would like to still focus on those 4 elements and to explain them more in details and to see how we actually are testing precisely the brew that we made. How we are measuring the strength and how we are evaluating extraction. For that we will need to use some professional gadgets, and so let's start with demonstration and explanation. Okay guys, so let's start. Here I made for you something where I will try to explain the best how we are searching the balance in our cup, in our brew. Next to our palate, which a lot of baristas like, I trust my palate this, my palate that. Guys, you need to know when you are making your brew, most of the time you are not even aware of how much you are subjective. Like you make brew and you think it's perfect, and a lot of time it's far away from perfect. And to do some precise testing and to try to calibrate your palate according to those results, it will be some sort of the practice where you can find later on, with a certain number of repeats and number of testing, you'll find yourself calibrated according to the STA standards for the most balanced brew, and without even using this gadget. So let's start. When we are making our brew, we are evaluating the strength of the coffee. The strength of the coffee is actually concentration of total dissolved solids, or TDS, in the cup. That is tested by this TDS refractometer. I have a VST TDS refractometer. There's a couple of more models which you can use to test the TDS or the strength in your coffee. Based on the result, what we're getting for the strength of the coffee, and based on our ratio, we can get the result for extraction. The extraction is evaluated in TDS, and extractions are evaluated in percents. So extraction is the percentage of the mass removed from the ground coffee dose into the beverage. So that percentage of the mass that can be removed into the coffee beverage is maximum 30%. But when we are making our brew, we don't want to extract all 30%. We want to go a little bit less, and there is a frame of the standards where we are searching ourselves with our strength and with our extraction in order to get the most balanced brew. So I will try now to do some testings for you and to explain how we are searching ourselves in this brewing chart in order to get the most balanced brew. Logically, the most balanced brew will fit into this square. Even if it's a little bit less or more, still you can taste it as a good if you don't know what is inside. But the more you are practicing and the more you are using these gadgets for testing the strength, the most you will be calibrated, and you will know exactly when your coffee is over extracted, under extracted, or more strong or less strong. So let's do some brews and let's test the things. Okay guys, now I will make one brew quickly by using my origami jigger. I will just make randomly one brew and we will do a testing. I will show you how it's done, need to be done, and let's see which result we will get. And later on I will explain how different grind sizes are affecting extraction and the strength, and I will explain also how different ratios are affecting the strength and extraction. So what we need to do in order to find the most balanced brew, and how to evaluate it, and how to find it in our brew chart, or how to use application. There is an application, I will show you also. So let's start slowly. Okay, I finished my pouring, so let's see. What is very important to write is data that you were using for making your brew. So for this brew, I used 15 grams dose and 250 grams of water, 555 grams of water, which is ratio 1:17. And based on that, we will be able to evaluate TDS and extraction. Actually, when we get TDS by this device and by this data, we will be able to find our extraction result in the brewing chart. So okay, my brew is done. Generally I did it randomly, so I'm not sure which result will be exactly, but let's test it and let's see how it which result it will show. Okay guys, my brew is done. So now we will do some quick testing to see what we get in this brew, what I get in this brew. As far as my concern, it's pretty much in the balance, and I believe we will get it in the optimum of strength and optimum of extraction. So let's see the result. By the way, the optimum frame for the TDS or the strength is from 1 to 15 to 145, and of the optimum percentage for the extraction, it's about from 18 as a minimum to 22 as a maximum. As I said, we don't want to extract all 30% from the coffee. 18 to 22 is a certain frame where we want to move with our extraction. So when we make brew, we need to put it in the, I always suggest a smaller amount to put in the another glass, so it get cool faster, because for the testing of TDS we need to have a cold coffee, not hot coffee. So we will use this pipette and we will put a little bit here to try to put in the center of this scanner, and to try to put it without any bubbles. And then we are closing it, and we are reading it. What is also very important is to calibrate TDS, which can be done with distilled water. I already calibrated mine, so I didn't. So same as a coffee, you're putting the distilled water and you're reading 0 TDS from the distilled water, and then later on you can test your coffee. Okay, it's showing my TDS is around 125 right now. So the numbers are changing, how coffee is getting cooler and cooler. So let's see, we are on 127 now. So since 115 is minimum, we are already there, but we don't want to go over 145. So as I said before, I think this brew is pretty much balanced. I don't feel it as overwhelming strong. And as I can see here, my TDS result showing that. Later on, I will explain how different grind sizes are affecting the TDS and extraction, and how the different ratios are affecting different TDS and extraction. And when we start to talk about the ratio, and then you will see a significant changes in TDS. So for now, this my ratio is around 1 to 17, and I get 127 TDS. So now, how we are searching our extraction result? There is a multiple ways. The easiest possible way is to have a coffee brewing control chart, and based on what you get for result as a result for TDS, you are searching your extraction. So we were using 1 to 17 ratio, and we had 127. Okay, 127 is here, and 1 to 17 is here ratio. So we are here. Okay, so basically we are in the frame, and we extracted our coffee according to the SCA standards. But even if you don't want to work under SCA, as I said before, when you drink your coffee, try always to search for the balance. That's the only way how you can enjoy in the coffee. It's all about balance. So right now, even randomly, this brew, it's in the proper balance, and that is one example how we are testing our TDS and extraction, and how we are searching for a balance. Now I will show you a couple of different examples where the coffee is out of the balance, where result is out of the balance. So it's flavor also, and let's see what I'm talking about actually, and then continuing of this video, and I will of course enjoy the coffee I made. This is pretty much very well balanced. Okay guys, when it comes to this coffee, I forget to mention one thing, very important thing. That's what we are searching here, extraction result. So as I said before, optimum result for TDS, it's between 115 and 145, which we get 127, so we are there somewhere in the middle. And the result for extraction is optimum between 18 and 22%. So when we put our TDS 127 and we found our ratio on this brewing chart, we marked our position here, result here, which is in ideal SCA standard. And the result for our extraction is, let's say, approximately, since I use the marker, it's a little bit thick, so it's approximately 19.9 or 19.8. So that's the proper extraction, since it's between 18 and 22%. There is also one application which you can use. It's called VST Tools application. I cannot show you now actually because I'm using my phone for recording this video. In general, it works the same. You need data of the standards, the parameters that you're using for your brew. So you are entering your dose of ground coffee, you're entering the grams of the coffee, what grams of water you put, so it's your ratio, and you're entering your TDS. When you put all that data, application will give you a result which is more or less same as the result on the brewing chart. So we get around 19.8 or 9 extraction here in our brewing chart, which is completely in the balance, as I said before when I tried it, since I'm pretty much calibrated with this, and it's in the SCA also standard. Okay guys, after this demonstration, randomly just from the brew that I made, I would now like to explain some different situations where you can find yourself while you're doing your brewing by using these parameters that I already wrote, since I made already 6 different brews in order to show you how different grind sizes and different ratios are affecting our TDS and our extraction. So let's start slowly. First one here we have with a very fine grind size. So we will start with the grind size first. Then later on I will show 3 of them with a different ratio. So for all 3 of them I was using 1 to 17 ratio. So one I made with a fine grind size, one I made with a medium coarse, and the third one I made with a very coarse grind size. So let's start with the first one. When we have a very fine grind size, as I explained in episode 2, our brewing time is longer. So with a very fine grind size, I get a 521 time of extraction, which as a result gave me 156 TDS. So as I said before, I was using 1:17 ratio. So when I was using 1:17 ratio and I got 156 TDS, which is here, my result for that is 1:17 ratio, 156, it's here. And that is 24.20. And as I can see, okay, now this is the result from application. So this is 24.20 and this is 24.23, so it's almost the same result. So that means our coffee is very strong, since it's our TDS out of the range. 145 is maximum, 156 is our TDS. That means our TDS is very strong and our coffee is over extracted. Since this is a frame and we are here, our coffee is over extracted, so out of the balance completely. Standard for the extraction is between 18 and 22, and we got 24, 23. And TDS is from 115 to 145, so we got 156. So this brew with the finer grind size, it's and strong and over extracted. So next one I did with a medium coarse grind size, which I'm more or less using all the time, and I got it in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. As a result, that brew, okay, this is my test story. As a result of that brew, I got 136 TDS. So 136, it's in between 150 and 145. So 136 is here. So 136 TDS, I was using a ratio 1:17. So 1:17 and 136 TDS, it will meet, it's over here, let me see. Exactly here. My application showed 21.8 and the brewing chart is showing 21.1. So it's here. Okay. So brewing chart and applications are almost the same. Actually, exactly the same. So this brew is in the standard. It's in the balance. It's in the frame of the TDS and it's a frame of the extraction. So when you are searching for the most balanced brew, you're searching your results both and totally solid or TDS or strength and extraction in the frame of the standards for the most balanced brew. The third one was very coarse, which I finished around 2 minutes. My TDS, it's 101. 101 is very low, as we can see. 115 it's minimum, and we got to 101. 101 it's here. For 1:17 ratio, TDS of 101 will give me, guys, here. Okay, that's 15 point, let's say it's very thick, this marker, so let's say it's here. 15.6, and yes, we are, with my application, we are there also. So this brew is very coarse and very coarse grind size, but it's very light, as our TDS can show. It's 101 and 115 it's minimum. So that means the strength of our coffee is light and extraction it's lower than 18, which means that it's very weak and under extracted brew. So this is how the grind size is working. So for the same ratio, different grind sizes will give, of course, different brew. So that's why it's very important to find the proper grind size for the certain ratio and the certain type of the beans to get balance in between extraction and in between TDS or strength. Okay, let's now show how different ratio with the same grind size affecting the brew results. Okay guys, let's now show different results for the different ratios. So I have a ratio 1:14, which is a little bit stronger out of the standard. 1:15 is the strongest option we should go as per standard STA, so I made 1:14. Then I had one more time 1:17. I will use the same parameters, no need to make it twice. And then I will make one with a longer ratio than standard, like a more lighter. 120 is maximum. I made here 1:21 ratio. So let's see results. Let's see parameters. Let's see parameters, and let's find the result in the brew chart. 1:14 ratio gave me TDS 156. So for TDS 156, which is the same as a previous one TDS, just now it's not anymore 1:17. Now it's 1:14. 156 and 1:14. 1:14 is here. It's here. It's giving an extraction around 1950 here. So as we can see, our extraction result is in the proper frame between 18 and 22. But our TDS, it's higher, it's very strong. So this coffee is properly extracted, but it's very strong, which means it's still out of the balance. We are here with the balance. When we take into consideration the proper extraction frame and proper strength frame. So our extraction is proper, it's here between this and this, it's here, but TDS is very strong, so this coffee with 1:14 ratio is strong. Then next coffee we have 1:17 ratio that I already used before. So for all three ratios I was using the same grind size, the proper grind size from the first testing. So when I apply the proper grind size, I just changed now the ratios. 1:17 ratio, this result we already saw it. So 1:36, 1:36 is TDS, and 21.8 is our extraction. So 1:36 it's here, as we said before, and 1:17 ratio is here. So our result is here. I already marked, I don't know what I'm searching for. So the result is the same, extraction is 21.8. So with this ratio we have a proper strength, which we don't have in the first one, with the lower ratio, and we have a proper extraction. Third one is very long ratio, the lighter option, then it's recommended by STA standard. As I said in the videos before, recommended STA standard is from 1:15 to 1:20. I was using 1:21, so that gives me as a result TDS of 1:21. So we can see the higher ratio, stronger ratio, giving the stronger TDS, the lighter ratio giving the lighter TDS. Okay, 1:21 is still in the no, it's not 1:21. Sorry, I see something is wrong. It's 1:01. 1:01. As we can see, it's very light, so it's very logical to be out of the standards. 1:01 TDS. 1:01 TDS on 1:21 ratio. So 1:01 is here, same as TDS as before, with a very close grind size. 1:01 TDS is here, but this time on 1:21 ratio. 121 ratio, 101, we are here. So what's happening now with this coffee? This coffee is also with a proper extraction around 20, 19.89, here it's showing exactly 20. So our extraction is in the proper frame, but our TDS is very low, it's here. And that means it's very weak with the longer ratio, which is logical. Stronger ratio giving the stronger coffee, lighter ratio giving the lighter coffee, since less or more water is pouring over the coffee. So now what we can see as a result, what can be our conclusion, is when we have a grain, same proper grain size, even when we change the ratio, we will be more or less in the proper frame of extraction. But strength of our coffee will not be the proper. It will be either strong, either weak. That's why it's very important to stick between 1 to 15, 1 to 20 ratio to be with the optimum balance between the strength and between extraction. But when we are using the same ratio but different grind size, that is definitely affecting our extraction. More likely, the very coarse grind size will lead you to the weak and under-extracted coffee, and very fine grind size will lead you to the strong and over-extracted coffee. So yes, that's it when it comes to the precisely testing of the total dissolved solids or the strength in the coffee, and precise testing of extraction, how much the mass we remove from the ground coffee into our beverage. Yes, again, that's it. Now we covered some basic when it comes to the precise testings of our brew that we are making. Different ratios, different grind sizes, of course, are affecting the results that we are getting into our beverage. What is the most important now, that I was using something that maybe a lot of you doesn't have a approach to it. So this, I don't know if it's available to download on the internet somewhere. I get it as a AST, I have in PDF. So when it comes to the control brewing chart, whenever you apply for some STA brewing training, probably that AST, the trainer, can provide you this brewing chart in PDF format, so later on you can print it for yourself. It's very easy to use, but there are multiple brands. They're a little bit more cheaper than VST refractometer, so they are affordable. If you can find them on the market and you can afford it, that's the only way to test TDS in your coffee. It will help you to calibrate yourself how to make the most balanced brew, optimum brew, to find the perfect balance between extraction, between strength, and later on, when you calibrate yourself to that standards, most of the time you will not even need this gadget. You will know either your coffee is strong, either your coffee is light, or over-extracted or under-extracted. But yes, generally that's it. I hope it was very useful for the people who have these gadgets, so to know how to approach to the testings and how to evaluate their coffee, and what are the proper standards for the TDS and proper standards for extraction. In the next video I will probably focus more on the other elements of brewing, like water quality, which is very important. I would like to mention also different filter media, and also turbulence agitating of your brew. It's also affecting your brew. But whichever changes you're doing, whatever you're applying to your brew, this will be the way to test the impact. So, for example, I make this 1 to 17, and I found for the certain type of the beans I'm using, okay, I found this ratio 1 to 17 as the most balanced for that certain type of the beans, certain origin. And then maybe I want to apply a different filter. I will do a brew, I will do some testing to see how it's affecting my extraction, And also if I want to apply agitating turbulence, I will also test the result to see either decreasing or increasing extraction. So in next videos probably I will talk more about other 3 elements that I didn't mention yet, how they are affecting our brew and our overall extraction result. Thank you all for watching. Sorry for the little bit angles and camera. Sometimes I'm out of it since I don't have a professional recording equipment, and I hope this will be very useful for you while you're testing and making your brew on daily basis. Thank you very much for watching. See you in probably 7 days. Bye bye.